Hello, and welcome back to Can You Say That? With absolutely nothing different about this episode. I'm production.
I'm the dad, stepdad. Not the father. Very important distinction there.
Very good, very good. All right, so what we're actually doing today is kind of a surprise. No one on the Can You Say That podcast knows that this is happening right now.
Yep, we are the behind the camera folk.
Yes, yes. So the whole idea here is we kind of wanted to talk about the theme overall for this episode was going to be Christmas with the Can You Say That girls.
Right.
And kind of how our experiences, the traditions that we have, and what Christmas was before it, what we do now, and what we really like about Christmas with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, I just wanted to sit in a pink chair. So,
It is pretty comfy. I really do like it.
All right. Should we just jump on in?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So, I think we wanted to start with just a really quick how we kind of joined the family, because we joined at very different times and for different reasons, obviously. I know for myself, mine, and I don't know if they use her name. I know they just call her mom. But
yeah, I think it's just mom.
Yeah, we started dating when we were 14. As kids do, it went south. We were kind of friends and all that, and we went on and lived our lives. And then, 25 years later, now this is where it gets muddled. You'll hear all kinds of different stories. But she found me on Facebook and messaged me, and then I took it from there. 8 days into it, I'm like, I love you, and and then it went from there. We ended up together, and it's been 11 years now. So
nice. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, so our relationship kind of it started off with the absolute best pickup line I could ever have come up with, really. She came up to me asking me how I liked it working in the office, because it was like my first maybe week. Yeah, it was probably my first week. And me being so good at hearing, thought that she had said how did I like the coffee, because that's what my brain was currently focused on, because I have a very one-track mind in full focus mode, and that my focus of the day was coffee at that point, full caffeine. So I respond with, yeah, the coffee's pretty good. It's pretty good. And it all went on from there. No, there was actually a good bit more to it. Actually, really funny that you say that you were saying that you loved her on like the eighth day.
Yeah, all that feelings recame. I mean, she was my first girlfriend and everything from when we were just kids. So all that came back super quick, and she was like, "Are you bleeping nuts?"
Yeah, I think that's really funny and really cool, because I had a very similar reaction with Ambria, and we were maybe dating for a week or something, and she told me, "It's okay, I know you love me." And I was like sweating, like, nah, no, I don't. Get out of here. Like full on, no, that's not possible. But then
No
also
way.
my heart was like speeding up really fast. I was like, don't tell me that. I can't accept that right now.
No, I think it's something in their bloodline, because I know that Ambria's grandparents had a very similar thing. He was very, very quick to jump, to fall in, all in. And she was like, "You're nuts. Get away from me." So
it's they call it the orange juice theory, don't they?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've actually like fully described the orange juice theory on the channel. I think it'd be a really fun one to watch. Just have them go back and forth on why it's got this whole theory of it starts. What does it start at? Like the compressed pulp frozen.
I'm not even sure. I know that the bloodline is very, very strong, and there's so many similarities throughout the different generations. That would be a very good episode. Do that one.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, I think something that's really cool is correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like especially with what I've seen, they have like one girl every generation. Is that right? Like it seems like it's been like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Yep.
So that makes the orange juice compression even worse, in that only one girl gets it all
squeezed into one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so far there isn't one yet in the next generation. So whoever gets it, I guess.
Whoever gets it is very lucky and going to have their hands full.
Yes.
Although my personal theory for that is potentially with whatever next line gets it, it'll either be because I think Ambria is mimosa, at this point, so it's like super sweet and really like watered down.
Mhm.
I think the next one's either going to be just straight champagne, kind of along the lines of the theory, or it's gonna do a full flip and go all the way back to
To the orange tree.
to orange rind. Like I think that's what it's gonna do. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got to reset at some point. So.
Yeah, and it would definitely be our luck to have that happen in like this generation.
God, that child. Oh.
I mean, for the longest time, everyone thought that our son was going to actually be a little girl.
I thought the doctors were lying. I was like, nope, they're wrong. Nope, no way. I knew it.
I ended up doing just like a random coin flip, like, oh, looks like it's gonna be a boy, but also very much like, but it could be a girl. It could just be a girl, you know?
Nope, I was sure. I would have bet money. And I mean, I wouldn't change him for a thing, but but I was so sure.
Yeah,
like even when he was born, I'm like, really? Are you sure?
Right. Yeah, I mean, everyone, even now, keeps telling Ambria that like they're certain she's gonna have a girl, and she's like, I'm not certain I even want a second one.
She just doesn't want an orange juice, orange tree.
I think that's the biggest fear. Yeah, she's very scared of it being like another her, because especially now that she's grown up a little bit, she's like, dang, I was kind of wild, kind of crazy. Yeah,
she was all right. She wasn't bad. I mean, I was there for from about 17 on, but yeah, she wasn't bad.
I mean, you got the whole alliance thing,
yes,
so you get the better half of that, don't you?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I've sat and watched them. It's funny because you watch them now and they get along so well, and even when they're like angry, they still just kind of yell it out, talk it out, whatever. But they used to go at it. It was bad.
Yeah.
Like at one point, I mean, there's different times like I'd take Bobby out of the room. Like, you don't want to be involved in this,
Yeah.
So it says a lot that they've able to spun it back around and even do these podcasts or, and be able to talk about things.
Yeah, honestly, the relationship that she has with her mom, I really, really enjoy and sort of envy in a way. Like, I think, like, of the best sense, really. I really like that she has that with her mom and you too. Like, I think it's awesome because we live, they've mentioned it before, we live like,
I could throw a rock and hit my house.
Yeah, we have like 5 minutes walking time to your house. Yeah, it is really nice because especially on like days that little baby boy, it just won't go to sleep or won't do anything or won't eat. Like, yeah.
Or if you guys on a whim just want to go be adults, go be your guy, adults together. We got him. It's cool.
Yeah.
So
that's actually been probably the hardest thing to actually figure out is just simply, we can just kind of push him off on the grandparents and it'll be okay. Like they actually want to spend time with him.
We'll take it every time.
Oh man. So do you want to talk about
the next one?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh nope, looks like you. But so one of the things we wanted to talk about is like Christmas, what it meant before.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know for me in my family growing up, I had a huge family when I was young. And I mean, there's aunts and uncles and cousins. I mean, I had like 13, 14 cousins,
right.
And they would all center around my grandma. Wherever she was, that's where we went. When she had her own place, her own house, we went there. Her apartment, when she got a little bit older, we went there. She moved in with us. Everyone came to, I mean, she was the nucleus.
Right. And
as we got older, I mean, everyone, I made my decisions and had to go do things that I did. I moved out of state a couple times. And everyone just, as people do, they grow up and they kind of spread out. And then since I've been here, my grandma since passed. And I mean, it's really, there's not much of gatherings anymore. I know that my mom and her sisters get together and stuff, but
yeah.
So, I mean, but it's okay. It's what's supposed to happen, But I mean, that was Christmas to me it was a big deal because it meant family. It meant food. It meant,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think that you'd ever want to do, I think I'm like totally out of the microphone. Do you think you'd ever want to do this like family gatherings or anything like that kind of on that note, like bringing it back to kind of organizing everyone in your family to hang out like once a year, once every 5 years or something?
No, they do. So they all still live out in where I grew up.
Yeah.
For the most part, I have an uncle that lives out of state, but, and they still do. They'll put on Facebook playing cards and stuff. And, for me, it's a 10-hour drive, things are
Yeah.
shifting. So I mean, and there's times I want to just kind of say, I'll be back. I'm gonna, on Friday, I'm gonna go up there and hang out for the day.
Right.
But that's not really cost effective. But
Mhm.
and honestly, everything that I pictured in my life, like that I wanted, is kind of coming true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now we have grandkids. We are grandkid.
Right.
And the kids, and you know what I mean, and being surrounded by a family that, that I helped build, and that's in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it was already kind of pre-chosen, but we picked up strays along the way, and we have different kids, and I mean, it's just this is my family, and it means a lot. So
Yeah, your family wall is quite massive. A lot of adopted lines,
Yeah.
kind of just everybody, even people who aren't even. I haven't even met most of these people, but I know that you've had a big enough impact on their lives, and vice versa, that like they're a part of your family, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, no, we pick them up along the way. I know when we got together this time, she had 2 kids, I had 2 kids, and then we picked one up along the way, and then you came in. I mean, it's never doesn't stop growing. Like, it's great.
Yeah, so that's very nice. What was I thinking about? Yep, totally blinked on that one.
So what was Christmas before?
Yeah, Christmas before for me. Basically before, so I'll kind of go through a quick blow of my Christmas before. When we were growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so Christmas wasn't really that big of a thing for me. It was kind of like we'd get clothes, and I was actually excited to get clothes. I didn't understand why other children weren't excited to get clothes, but I also didn't understand that other kids' parents had money to get them toys instead of the clothing to replace the ones that were all worn out and everything. So for me, Christmas was really kind of more of a utility thing, as opposed to a fun, here's a toy and everything. And I feel like I also, Ambry and I were discussing this before, in that the ages that we kind of figured out when Santa wasn't a thing. I feel like I figured it out very early on, because there were a lot of points I remember discussing with my parents about how, well, it doesn't make sense because we don't have a chimney, it doesn't snow here, and yada yada yada.
So you took the literal left brain approach.
Yeah, very much, very left brain on that one. I was very like, this doesn't make sense, guys, like, come on. Yeah, so that was kind of like my childhood in a nutshell of Christmas. And then after a while, when we got older, we kind of, I'm notoriously hard to shop for Christmas. So I would just get kind of like money on Christmas, because that's what it turned into. I was like, just give me what you would have spent on me, because I don't want to get like some small piece of candy or something. I want to like put it towards getting something big that I really do want. So yeah, and then after going to college and everything, like I said, it wasn't a big focus of mine. Christmas was just kind of felt like almost a waste of time, really. Like, I was really Scrooging it up around that time.
Right.
I was when before Ambria, anyone that wanted me to celebrate Christmas, I was like, why? We just go and get things. Like, I don't understand it. So Ambria also mentions that she was not super crazy into Christmas before me, but I guess seeing how bad I was at Christmas, like if Christmas was a talent, I was bad at it. I was just not it. So she was like, you know what? We are going to go full tinsel to the wall on this one. So it turned around into like her favorite holiday, and now my favorite holiday, just simply because of how much magic she puts into it.
Yeah.
Like the amount of effort that she goes into just decorating the house. Literally the Friday after Thanksgiving, it is all the orange and yellow goes down and red and green goes up.
You know, it's funny. She gets that from her mom. Her mom puts so much effort into all of these things. I mean, she kills herself, and she always has. And she hates it the whole time she's doing it. But when it's done, it's funny watching her sit back on Christmas and watching the kids open the presents or just things. You know, you can tell that it's like, okay, worth it. You know?
Yeah. There's just something very rewarding to that. I see it kind of like from her, and seeing how much I love Christmas because of all of the effort that she puts into it. Now I've started helping a little bit more, but there's still a lot of, you need to direct me because I would just simply not do it, and I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of it is kind of directing me, holding my hand through it. But I mean, I'll do the grunt work for it.
Yeah. I do a lot of sitting, waiting for my marching orders. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, after it's all done, it really would not be the same without the immense effort that they put into
100%.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy, what do we have? First Christmas
First Christmas.
with the family.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know mine. My memory's kind of shot, and so I'm hoping I'm describing the right one. So if
I'm sure they'll correct us in the comments.
100%. And if I remember correctly, my first Christmas with them wasn't just with them. When I moved in, it was very shortly after around Ambry's graduation. So the whole family like descended. So I got to not just join this family, right? I got to meet the whole family, everybody, and and so that was fun. But if I remember right, her parents came back that Christmas. So I was very much an outcast. That's not fair. I was kind of a stranger still.
You felt that way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I was joining a family that already had traditions in the way things were done, and I mean, in their family it changed as well. So they're trying to figure it out. I'm getting thrown in the mix, and I'm, and so I mean, it was a great time. It really was. It was a nice. I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I just know that it was very much we're still kind of feeling each other out.
Yeah.
And so I didn't push anything too hard. I kind of just fell in line.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure Leanne will have a different say on that, because I'm like I said, my memory is not what it was. So, but no, I just remember being really happy, because the last couple Christmases weren't all that great. I was in different places in my life, and
Right.
so this was something new,
Yeah. What is if you can remember anything specifically from that, what was maybe your favorite one piece of that first Christmas?
I think it was like I said, in the memory whole thing, but I can tell you it was I felt like it was a start of something. Everything was still really new. I mean, I was still like putting my stuff away. I mean, I'd moved in July, or no, May. In May.
Yeah.
And so we're still like putting stuff away and like putting up the Christmas tree, and like there was still no representation of me anywhere. You know what I mean? So it was I remember, as awkward as I felt at times, no one ever made me feel that way. That was all me.
Right.
They were all so, very welcoming, very inviting, very much you're here, your family, rock out. I mean, so, yeah. I think that's probably the one thing I remember is any feeling I had of being weird or whatever was me.
Yeah.
Was no one made me feel that way. And so,
okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, my first Christmas with them and you by inclusion. Yeah, so I think we had only been dating 3, maybe 4 months by that point. And I think the way that worked was Thanksgiving had come, and it was we had only been dating for like maybe a month or 2 at that point. So it was kind of like it could end at any point kind of timeline. But by the time Christmas had come around, I remember Ambria saying, basically, I was gonna like not do anything for Christmas. Like I wasn't going home. I wasn't like celebrating or anything. So I remember her like trying to convince the both of you that it's okay that we've only been dating for half a second. It's okay. Can you please come over to the house and stuff? So that was kind of like the first. Well, there were several sweet things that she did throughout all of our relationship and stuff, but that was like the first like big thing that I felt like, oh, thank you for like kind of fighting for me. And
I remember that, and what I remember is the picture at the tree, that we always take.
Yeah,
we put you on the outside in case we had to cut you out. I remember.
Yeah. Very smart.
Yeah. And I remember, and I'm glad we never had to. But I remember.
I'm also glad to still be here. I mean, who else would I rock ugly Christmas sweaters with?
I mean,
yeah.
My lights broke on it, but that's all right. It still fits good. So.
Yeah, so that was like the first bit that I remember of that. And then because we still lived in the city at that point. We were like a good hour away from
Mm-hmm.
your house. So we actually had to get a whole overnight bag and everything packed up. So that way we go and stay. I think we stayed like at least a night or two over at your house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we packed everything to go and just be over here for a bit. And that was kind of, I want to say that we were already coming over to hang out like a couple of times before that. Maybe. I don't know.
It was Thanksgiving. It was
yeah.
there was a lot of
So yeah, we were already kind of used to the, especially because of the drive. We'd spend like an entire day there, like because it's not like it is now where
we were a lot. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So we had like a whole overnight bag and everything packed up, and then we stayed in the guest room downstairs, and that thing, the heater is a direct line to that room and actually cooked me like it was an oven. I had to open up the window to the outside to get a little bit of equilibrium going because I was a full puddle of sweat. It was very, very hot. That is definitely the biggest thing that I remember from any of that is just that room gets very hot.
That room gets cold. All the stuff first. Yeah.
Yeah. But then Ambria and her brother have this tradition where basically he would come to her room and they'd be up at like 3 or 4 in the morning on Christmas Day. And because no parent in their right mind wants to be up at 3 or 4 in the morning for Christmas, even though all the children are like, it's midnight 01. It's Christmas. Let's go. They would like spend the whole next couple of hours just kind of hanging out and just I feel like they would play games or something. I don't know exactly what they would do, but I remember waking up to it, and because I didn't sleep very well because of all the way too hot, way too cold, whatever was going on, I woke up, rolled over, and saw him like sitting on the floor or something, and I was like, "What is going on here? You didn't sleep here last night? What?" And I like forgot where I was for a second, but yeah, it was funny figuring that out because I don't think Ambria had told me anything about it. So I just woke up to him in our room and I was like, what's going on here?
If I remember correctly, because that started way before my time.
Yeah.
Is that they would send him in there to go wake up your sister, and then she would just tuck him in bed. You know? and I think that's how that started was go get if you can get your sister up, then we'll do the stuff. Yeah, and she would just tuck him in bed.
Yeah. The story overall is much cuter than I can explain. My details are just simply I woke up and was very, very confused.
Strange boy in my room.
Yeah. So, and then what happened after that? I also am not having a great time remembering the Christmases of only like 5 years ago. But
right.
Still.
No, I think it's because they're, and we'll get into this in a little bit, but I think it's because they're almost, it's the same. You know, we have the traditions now, and I mean, and they evolve, but I couldn't tell you and pinpoint when something evolved or changed. Like, I feel like the things that, that we talk about has been like that forever.
Yeah.
But that's not right. So.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It feels like, I mean, I can tell you now, like when Thanksgiving, when it changed was just when you guys moved here. But in 10 years, I'm not going to remember when that should happen.
Right. Yeah. I mean, on that note, do you want to kind of transition into our next topic?
Yeah.
The traditions overall. I really enjoy kind of like the general traditions that we have now and have kind of like accumulated together as a family.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of almost have tos.
Yeah.
There is definitely the nap. And that is me. That's 100% my tradition because I love a good nap.
Well, yeah, if everybody's waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning, we need a good nap.
We would we'll get up and open presents and kind of have a little something to eat. Remember a couple years ago, I know it wasn't last year because Amber was still pregnant, but we got that shot glass game and y'all killed a bottle of vodka and then everyone just went to sleep.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I think it was little brother, right? Like that got the shot glass extras. Like it would pour 8 at a time, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, that was.
And we played some kind of game that had for shots.
I don't even remember what it was. It was some sort of like drinking game of. We played something where you would inevitably just be taking a shot every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no, you guys killed a bottle of vodka, and it was like time to go, and and everyone took it, and that's kind of just been a Christmas nap time, and yeah, that's one of them for sure.
Yeah. Oh, one that I don't think is on there, but I really enjoy is we've started to do this tradition of everybody gets picks for food. Yeah, so we'll do this. I think they actually talked about this on one of the previous podcasts. But
if you haven't seen that, check it out.
We'll do this thing, especially when we're doing like family pictures. We'll kind of discuss what we want to eat for Christmas.
Like a theme.
Yeah. I feel like at least the first Christmas that wasn't a thing where we ended up having like some massive generic Christmas dinner on the 1st one where it was like the ham, the everything else that you have on Christmas
that you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I don't know at what point this changed, but it was probably around like Thanksgiving or something that we decided, you know what? We don't really want all the traditional things. Half of the stuff doesn't get eaten, and we like different kinds of foods. So I really like that we have this like tradition of, you know what, we'll do a style. We'll do this. Like we did Chinese food for 1 year. Yeah.
What was last year's? That was where we did different countries, food from other countries.
Yeah.
And everyone did something just outlandish. Like
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what everyone made, but I know that I way preferred it over just general ham.
Well, I remember last time their grandparents were here, we had side dishes, kind of something like similar to what we're doing this year.
Yeah.
But because I remember I made same thing I'm making this year actually, tater skins, and and we did a lot of that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we had the big ham and stuff, but we did just all kinds of crazy, side dishes and stuff.
I feel like overall for kind of the Christmas day, no one really wants to sit down and just eat one big meal. The little appetizers actually seem to work very, very well because throughout the day we'd be opening presents and then we'd also like go grab a jalapeno popper or something.
Right.
Yeah. No, I thought that worked really, really well.
No, that's good. And you know what I'm really excited for, and just way off topic, is this is also your son's first Christmas.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So this is going to start some new things. You know what I mean? We're going to have to figure out new things. Like, I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, we've been doing all kinds of little tiny, like trying to start traditions with him, like moving the star on the how many days till Christmas thing, or doing a little advent calendar of chocolate, kind of like setting that up for him. He doesn't have any idea why we're doing this because, well, it's his first Christmas. So I'm very excited to see how he handles unwrapping a box.
Yeah.
He'll either really love it and just tear the thing to shreds because he loves some crinkly paper, or he won't get it and won't really understand why we're taking so much time to deal with these things because he's just going to play with the paper instead of the box inside.
He's going to just eat the paper and it'll be fine. I mean, I know he helped me on my birthday a little bit, but he was, that for the span of his life, he was way younger then. Yeah. So he didn't quite understand what was happening, but yeah.
Right.
Baking day, that is something they're out doing right now, is prepping for this baking day.
Yeah.
Baking day is, for those who do not know, baking day is a big event in our house. It's all hands on deck. They make these trays of all, and it's evolved, and this actually evolved as well. It started, they would make 5 or 6, 7 different things, and it took a day to do it and then a day to clean up.
Yeah. Now this is not just like a day as in like a couple of hours or something. This is a full, you're working overtime, you're doing 12 hours today kind of time shift.
Yeah. No, this is, when they say day, they mean sun up, sundown. Everyone has jobs. I am the dedicated feeder / drink maker. Like,
right.
And I know you and the boy.
It's really hard not to just say his name, but like I don't know the protocol.
I swear they've used it, but I'm not sure.
They probably did, but like I don't want to just.
We always call him the boy anyway.
Yeah.
He's in his 20s, but he's the boy. You guys help with the peanut butter balls. You ball those up. And they just go to town, and then I get to go and take these wonderful trays to work, and everyone loves them, and and I'm the hero.
Yeah.
I actually have staff who do not work for me anymore, who are texting, going, "Hey, about those Christmas trays."
Brother and I are basically just manual labor for this project. I mean, I've done a couple of contributions of simply trying to re-engineer how we're doing something, just because I see a problem, or not even a problem, some slight inefficiency, and I'm like, we must spend the rest of the day working on this problem. instead of actually doing the project, because I could have saved like 3 minutes as opposed to the 5 hours I spent trying to resolve
the rack
this.
setup that they have now.
Yeah.
She's got like 5 rack, bam, 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 instead of how they were doing it before, which is going to help.
Yeah, I think before we were doing like on toothpicks or something, just dipping them in the hot chocolate, trying to pull them out, and we'd lose way more peanut butter into the hot chocolate or the chocolate mix than anything. And then I decided to get like one of the cooling racks and just lay out a whole bunch of them, because I've seen like assembly lines where they just river of fudge over the product. So that's basically what I tried to do with it. Now we are basically just spending the next several years of our lives just perfecting this one, because that I think they're called Buckeyes. The Buckeyes and Snow are the biggest draws to this thing.
That's what they eventually cut out everything else, because that's all people wanted.
Yeah,
people from my work, they were like, I just want the Snow. Like in round 2, after New Year's, when I bring the leftovers, that's almost better than round 1 for some of these guys. I had it right here, and it would just
right.
Baking day. This is one of those things that I was talking about where Leanne hates it. She hates the prep work. She hates, but then once she's doing it, and her and Ambria are in there and they're laughing, and it's just that tradition that all that goes away. Yeah. And then when they talk about it when it's coming, they're like, "Oh God, here we go, baking day," and they all complain, and then they do it, and they have so much fun. It's really fun to sit back and watch that happen.
Yeah, they like fully dread it, because like I said, it's a full 12-hour shift each day that they have to do it. But they really do enjoy like collaborating and working with each other and just making this it is literally, if you see those kitchen counter islands, it is an entire mountain going up over this thing of just the snow. That one piece alone covers up the entire counter. They line the whole thing with wax paper, and then they just lay it all down to cool.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's why for the most part, we'll just kind of sit back, and if they tell us to do something, we are immediately to do it, because, well, we need to do something to help, but also we don't want to step in the way, because we also will just get our heads bitten off if we do it.
That is why I took the position, because I'm not a small man. So if I'm in there, I'm in the way, or I'm just doing it. So I've kind of taken the position of, I'm over here. If you need me to run to the store, let me know.
Right.
You guys hungry? I'll get you food. Anyone? Drink refill? I got you. But I'm staying out of the way.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. On the running to the store thing, they've definitely already talked about this, and leave a comment if you actually know what this little secret tidbit is before I say it. Brother and I were tasked with the job of going to the dollar store and picking up extra trays.
Was this your first year doing it?
I want to say it was at least the second or third.
It was fairly early on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I no longer do it, because they don't want it to get messed up. So we were tasked with going to the store, and him and I are both very left brain, very straight to the point. So we walk into the store, and we see they had no, that wasn't it. We actually went all the way back to the aisle where they had plates and trays and everything. We were like, it has to be here. Where else would they put it? It doesn't make sense anywhere else.
Right.
So we looked all over the place, whole bunch of nice little kitchenware and stuff. The only thing we could see was these football game day little platters. So we were like, screw it. If they'll be happier that we came back with something than nothing. So we just grabbed a whole bunch of those and brought them all back. And Mom,
you still hear about it to this day.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a reason that we won't be sent to the store anytime soon to pick up things. But they ended up going back to the store, I think, and it was right in the very front of the store.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all
the Christmas decorations. Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying, trays and plates go where the trays and plates go. It does. I get that there's like seasonal decorations, and you can put all the Christmas stuff there. I wasn't on that mindset today.
Right. So one of the things that Leanne does, and this is a weird one in the way of traditions, because it's one that I stay out of. And that's why by weird, it's because I stay out of it. One thing she's always done is on Christmas Eve, they read stories. Well, she reads stories to them. She reads 3 books, maybe 4. I think it's 3 though. And they do. I mean, and these kids, I mean, they're not young kids. They are in their 20s.
Right.
You know, some of them almost out of their 20s, and they still cuddle up on the couch every year. That's going to be kind of interesting to see how that develops with the baby now.
Yeah, I was telling Embryo about this. I actually very much hope that little baby boy ends up picking a totally different story, and that with every I don't know whose grandkids are coming into the scene, but with every new child introduced, they need a different book. So that way, grandma has to read like 15 hours worth of books on Christmas Eve. And not because I want to torture her or anything, but I think that would just be the best grandma story of my grandma literally reads nonstop from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day, because that's just all the books that we chose for her.
I chose War and Peace.
I was saying, like, I want the whole Harry Potter series. It's basically a Christmas story.
Yeah. No, that's one of the ones though that I decided to not be a part of. It felt like I was intruding, you know, like kind of like we talked about.
Yeah.
But on that one, it felt like I didn't really have a place in this tradition.
Right.
And I mean, and to this day, I'll step out of the room and let them have it. And I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me like at all. And it's actually very sweet that they're, you know, the kids are as old as they are and they still do this. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even I don't step out of the room. I just like step to the side and just listen to the story, even though I've heard it for 5 years running now. I think it's the sweetest, cutest thing, and I wouldn't interrupt it for the world. Like,
you know, at some point, Amber is going to have to, or she's going to figure out or find out that she has her own mom traditions, you know, for like Christmas stuff, you know, especially with you guys being so close. But yeah, I was thinking about that is going to be funny in, you know, 6 years when tides have turned a little bit, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Way off topic, but I don't know, that just something that popped in my head.
No, we definitely, let's see. Yeah, we definitely got a little bit of time for off topic stories.
Okay, good.
No, it's crazy to think about, because right now he can't communicate yet, but he's already growing into his own person. And it's crazy thinking about how, we are his parents and we'll be developing our own traditions with him. He'll have like going over to his grandparents' house and everything, and all of those traditions. But we will have our own family traditions to do with him. Yeah.
So this topic will probably take a bit because it's a big thing. So we decorate the tree. And it has always been a big deal.
Oh, this is its own like 1 hour discussion in itself.
Yeah, and I think they talked about it a little bit in previous episodes, right? But this coming into this is my mom is not a disorganized, like chaotic person, but coming into this, Leanne is very much a very organized, boom, boom, everything in its place. Here it is. And that you would never see it more than you would in the Christmas decorations. The tree, we put it up, and every ornament is still in its box. She can tell you where it is in the thing, what box goes to what. And
it looks like someone was playing like 3D Tetris in those organization boxes, especially since not all of them are the same size. So they literally do fit in all perfectly. Not a single bit of space is wasted between those boxes.
Right. And that's one of the things that I think she thinks that I maybe I don't like, or that I give her a hard time about how we have to unbox every ornament and then rebox it and this and that. But that is such a part of her personality that I wouldn't change.
Right.
And, you know, I know she's going to hear this and go, ha, but it's one of those things that it's one of those traditions that we have that take a day.
Yeah.
You know, is putting out all the decorations. And I know we just recently got a new tree because all you children got together and decided that you didn't like our tree anymore. And that's a whole nother thing. I'm not even going to get into that. But this was the first year with the new tree, and I gotta say it's very nice. It is huge. And it actually, I think we actually needed a bigger tree because it was starting to get really crowded. And
especially with all of the ornaments. Like that tree literally houses everyone's ornament. Everyone gets an ornament a year. everyone that has been adopted into the family.
Yeah.
I mean, even I get an ornament a year, and then now my son is gonna be getting an ornament every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, if we look at it that way, so we've been adding 10 ornaments a year or something like that for, the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, just onto this tree, and they just go on.
Oh, and then even past that, I've seen some of Ambria's. This is my favorite ornament of hers. She has a Bratz, giant pink Bratz ornament, and she hates it so much because it's so big and tacky. She always hands it to me like, "Oh, here, you need a little bit of decoration back there in the back of the tree." And I always make very purposefully that I go to the front of the tree, put it up right in eye line. Yeah, very much. I love some good tacky ornaments and just decorations.
Oh,
basically, the more that they kind of like squirm at it, the better I know it is.
This is the first year that I didn't get the ugliest ornament I could find.
Really?
And I know that she talked about that because I remember making a comment in one of the previous podcasts about I feel personally attacked because it was ugly for the sake of ugly. There's wooden owls with, just horrible, and I love them. I love me a good ugly thing. It's just, but this year we got people writing. She found a place where you get it made, and it's a motorcycle. It looks like mine with people on it. And then they put your names on it, but what they did was like silk screen the name just across the arm.
Oh, really?
It's actually kind of tacky in its own right, but it's the first year that I didn't go out and just pick out the worst one. I mean, there's some horrible ones on the tree.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And then, so kind of on the note of just simply having the new tree, that in itself was its own kind of battle, kind of war. Ambria did all the fighting for it, but brother and I did all the complaining for it, so we did our part.
Yeah.
Basically, brother and I are responsible for putting up the tree, getting it all put together, fluffed out, and everything. And that tree that she did have before, the legs, I swear, were uneven and bent, and the pins to place it in correctly didn't actually click into the tree piece, so it was like a free spinning tree if we just give it a little bit of a nudge. And then it must have had like just all kinds of dust and stuff on the leaves or something, because I couldn't use the tree without full long sleeves and gloves because it would just irritate my skin so bad. And I hated just about every second of putting it up. But again, once it was up, it was so magical and great to see.
So I have to point this out because if I don't, then she will say that I'm not supporting her, and I got you. So I don't know if you noticed, but this tree is crooked. It sits like that.
See, I'm one to be inclined to think that just the floor itself is crooked at this point. Yeah, I mean,
so
two
we
trees
should probably
in.
fix the floor, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
No, but one of the things, Bobby, one of the things the boy was saying is that when I pointed out he was going to try to get in and pull it up, and we're like, it's okay, but yeah, well, I just thought that was funny that we got a whole new tree and all this stuff, and when it's set up, it was crooked. So she's like, see.
See, I really think that she just went in there and bent it herself. That's really what happened. The lore of the family.
Yep, that's it.
Oh man. I had something that I was thinking about with a tree. Oh, there's one little tradition that got introduced in the last couple of years that it's the pickle. Finding the pickle.
That came from Ambria's grandma. That she started that with us. Yep.
It's a great tradition. I am not a find it game kind of person though, and I'm very competitive. So it hurts so much more when brother is the only one who can find this. He's the only one who ever finds it. Ambria found it one time, the first year, and then after that, none of us have found it.
No, this year what I decided is we're gonna do head starts. Like I think I'm gonna put you at the gate, and then put her further back, and then put him like in his room when I say go, and everyone can run.
I'm gonna need like a good hour head start, honestly. I, no joke, was considering taking some of what I've been learning about AI and programming those things to actually develop an app to find this stupid pickle so that way I can win one
Photos
time.
and compare.
Yeah. Like literally, this is how much it bugs me that I am so bad at this game. I was considering just writing a camera app that would actually recognize the pickle image amongst all the other green on the tree or something stupid, like way too extra, and definitely would have been considered cheating. But when you're this bad at a game, it's really just evening the playing field.
Especially like one of the things that Amber always says about you is things come very natural to you first time, very easily.
Yeah.
So this one that you can't quite get is actually amusing for everybody.
I'm glad everyone else finds it amusing.
Oh boy. So with Christmas coming up, what do you think we're looking forward to the most this year?
I, for one, am very excited for the both of them to find this video, because her best guess for what this surprise was going to be was that I was getting you to help me put together a bike.
Mm-hmm.
And all the clues I had given her didn't quite line up. So she was like, I mean, it's something that you could put together and would require help, but it's not necessarily romantic. You might think it's romantic, and I'm just over here like, sure, keep going. And, although I definitely slipped up like a couple of times. So
I absolutely did. I'm sure that Leanne knows by now.
Yeah,
you know what it is, because I actually said the words record.
Right.
Like yeah, when we record.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the whole family got sick because my son came home from his first week of daycare. His first week of daycare, caught the flu immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that just means he'll have a really good immune system later. But for now, it means that we're all suffering very heavily. So I was sitting over the dinner table last night just thinking about it. And I was like, oh, man, I really hope that he'll be well enough to record tomorrow or something. And she looked over to me and said, record? I thought y'all were doing something else. And I immediately tried to catch it. Like, I mean, my voice is going to really suck, and I really want to do some recordings for my channel, Code Creature, by the way, if you want to go check that out.
Shameless plug.
Nice. Love it.
No, it's one of the hardships of being with these women. They're very, very smart, very quick, and catch a lot. It's hard to trick them. So
you can't hide anything from them, even when it's supposed to be fun and good and everything. Mm-hmm. Totally sidetrack here. But when I proposed to Ambria,
oh my God,
she didn't do this up until the day that I was going to do it. Literally anything that I was trying to do to run away and go do a surprise, to go and grab people, she was like, "Oh no, I'll go get it. I'll go get my own.
I'll go
food
stand
and
in line for food
in the middle of the rain, just freezing, coming down." And she was like in the middle of like shivering, like not doing okay. She's like, "No, I'll do it." And I'm like, "You would only do this when I'm trying to do a surprise for you."
Oh, just like today, when she's like, I'm going to work late today. It's because we need you out of the house.
Goodness, yes.
All of a sudden, you want to work late on a Friday.
Right? Like, if we had been doing this anywhere else in the house or just somewhere else, I could have been like, okay, cool. Like, I can go do this. But no, she has a thing where she just knows that I'm trying to do something. And her instincts go off of, you know what? Maybe I should stay here just a little bit longer. Like, you don't need any help with anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we're about done.
I do have one extra little.
Perfect.
I have one extra little tradition. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but family photos. Like we kind of talked about it a little bit here and there. Mm-hmm.
That is, so family photos used to be twice a year. We would catch a winter one and a summer one. We have pictures, like you said, all over our walls from different various years, pictures behind pictures. I mean, just they're all over the place, which is, it seems like now that we're talking about it, I feel like we do it to ourselves as a collective.
Yeah.
Because family pictures is something that we talk about and everyone kind of goes, oh God, okay. So who's going to pick what theme? I mean, and it's this big production and in the end, everyone loves pictures and they're great, but it's one of those things that, yeah, I feel like we do this to ourselves.
Yeah. So I think last year, maybe the year before that, one of these years I actually got a pick, which was a great honor for me because
I think it was
again,
last year.
Yeah. Again, I'm still replaceable. As not actual blood, I am replaceable.
Oh shit, I'm replaceable. I've been around
Yeah,
for quite
you
a
and me,
while.
we'll go together. We'll go
Yeah.
together. Yeah. So I picked sweaters. I picked ugly sweaters, and Leanne, brother, everyone was kind of trying to weasel out of it in the, oh, I've got a sweater, it's okay. And I had a little caveat of, you can't already own a sweater. You can't do that, and it has to be ugly. It just has to be.
Yeah.
And then we made this mistake 2 years running now. We chose to go up into the mountains to take pictures because we think the snow looks pretty.
Yep.
But further up in the mountains, the snow gets much, much, much deeper. To the point that we are trekking around waist deep in snow every
when
time.
I went
we
up
go
to your
there.
son's chin and some of those
Yeah. I could have dropped him and lost him in that snow.
Yeah.
It was so deep. Yeah. And we always get up there. Well, I can say that because we've done it twice now. We get up there and immediately regret our decisions.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my goodness, it's so cold up here. What happened?
So last year wasn't that bad. I remember I think it was still a new camera.
Yeah.
It was kind of overcast.
Yeah.
I remember Amber was wearing like a Christmas dress.
Yeah.
So she was very pregnant.
Yeah.
So and it was just it was like, why did we come all the way up here?
Well, so
And-
what made that one? Yeah, you're right. It wasn't too bad at the start. Like, it was actually pretty great, sunny, and not too cold. But halfway through the us trying to get pictures, a whole blizzard blew in over us. Yeah, that's what made it so bad. Yeah, we were out in the literal middle of the lake on this little wooden whatever it was. And I again, new camera, so I didn't know how to operate it very well. So I set up this camera over on like some posts off in the distance and set up some timers on it so we could actually get some pictures. And I feel like more often than not, it just didn't take. So eventually we just kind of took whatever we got and just got out of there. We had some really good ones before the storm hit, but yeah.
No, this year, I think where we made the mistake was going. I mean, one, I didn't realize how deep the snow was going to be for as early in the year as it was, but also with your son being so young still and all the gear we needed just for him. And once we got there and we were trudging through waist, knee deep snow.
Yeah.
It was just miserable for everybody. I think that's why we redid them. Because, I mean, no one was really happy. And you could tell in the pictures, we were just like.
And honestly, the second ones were much easier. And I think they turned out better overall.
Good.
Yeah. We really need to do a little bit of like location scouting before we go out next time. Or maybe just not in the snow.
Yeah. No, I think we talked about doing more of the fall where there's colors.
Yeah.
And going that way instead of snow next year. So.
Yeah, I think that will be great. And we won't be all freezing to death. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was literally out there too hot. Like, I had taken my sweater and stuff off because I, for some reason, am just the, like you said, I must do it right the first time. So I was totally willing to trek across the frozen lake.
Yes,
and again,
you were on
deep.
the ice.
I was out there trying to get the best picture because I saw a patch of snow opening up to the mountain, and I was like, this is great. And then you all are literally sinking. You brought a wagon, and that thing was sunk into. Two people had to carry the wagon up out of the snow because it was so bad.
One point, I had the baby in the truck thawing out. He was so cold.
Yeah. I mean, I was literally at one point like, okay, everyone who doesn't want to be a part of this, just go sit in the truck for a minute.
I'm gonna get some pictures.
Let me spend an hour, a literal hour, looking for somewhere good to take a picture because none of it was quite up to what I wanted it to be, which is my whole problem, and we can discuss that later.
I'm sure they've discussed that plenty.
Yeah, or it'll be a good content for later on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that kind of does it for our overall discussion.
Yeah, no, we've tackled a lot. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm very excited for them to find this and just not know what's happening. But with how she is, she's going to end up checking her channel before it goes up and finding it before anything happens. But yeah, so Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates it. Happy holidays to all the others.
really quick, I hope the message that gets across is all of the things we talked about are all things that we have thoroughly enjoyed over the years.
Yeah.
And just really happy to be part of this family. and we wanted to surprise you and kind of just talk about, even though a lot of these things give people, you know, we're like, oh God, here we go again. I wouldn't trade it for anything else in the world.
We love these women with every ounce of our being. Like we said in the beginning, less than a week in, we both pretty much said that we loved them, and it was over with. So yeah, that can be its own separate story entirely.
Yeah. What I want to see in the comment section is some of your guys' traditions.
Yeah, please. Let me know what you do on Christmas or whatever. Like I said, any holiday you celebrate, whatever tradition you do, leave a comment down below. Let us know. Maybe we'll start stealing some of them and introducing them to our family. I do hope, like I said, I hope that you all have a great holiday, great Christmas, whatever you may celebrate. And Merry Christmas to Ambria and
Leanne. I used your name. I know they haven't, but I did it. So.
We love you very, very much.
Bye.
Bye.